You're listening to the Ask Drone U podcast. You ask, we answer your drone questions. Whether you're here to turn your passion into profit or you simply fly for fun, we're a community of learners and teachers who aspire to achieve greatness. We are
Drone U.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another thought-provoking episode of Ask Drone U. Today we're going to be talking about working on your business as we move into the holiday season, and as you have less and less drone jobs, chances are it's a great time to work on your business, which is going to be the topic of today's discussion. As always, my name is Paul.
And as always, my name is Rob, and this coffee is starting to hit me.
Good. Oh, I need to chug mine then.
Triple espresso that Paul turned me on to a few months back, and now I'm hooked. That and the dirty chais that Mr. PJK turned me on to for the cold weather.
2436. Oh, I'm not going to say the rest. Hopefully he hears that.
Anyways, thank you for being with us, and I'm just going to say, you guys need to send your questions in. It's really weird. We go through these ebbs and flows, and maybe I shouldn't be admitting this. I don't know. But the questions, like we'll have these run-ups of questions, and then we can't get to all of them in time, and fast enough to help everybody. And then we go through times when they start to just trickle in, and it's really kind of a weird thing because we know you're listening, which we appreciate very much, but we also know that you're out there hopefully working on your business. Particularly a lot of you are out there in cold weather locales, and let us hear from you as to anything that you're working on your business with, or that maybe you have a question about how to set up 2020. Paul sent me a really cool email from somebody who got tired of being questioned on his pricing for his video shoots, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought that guy really handled that well.
I agree. That's why I sent you that email.
That's why you sent it
to me. Chris Hunter, I think was his name.
Is that what it was?
And I really loved it, but I think the succinct version of responding to your clients is, while it may take me a day or two to make your video, that's because it's taken me 10 years to get to that point.
Yeah.
You're not paying me for my time, you're paying me for what I've learned.
Absolutely.
So,
but anyways, we know that you have a lot of things going on in your mind, and maybe 2019 went really, really well. And so you're wondering, how do I take it to the next level? Or what should I add to my bag of tricks so that I can take it to the next level? Or maybe 2019 was not all that you hoped it would be. Well, talk to us about that, and maybe we can help you. We would love to do that. And once again, appreciate just the fact that even whether you send a question in or not, you support us by listening and hopefully by subscribing and sharing any thoughts that you might have via the review methodology that you have access to, Stitcher, iTunes. I guess it's not iTunes anymore, is it? Is it Apple Podcasts? Is that what it is now?
it is called Apple Podcasts, yes. It is called Apple Podcasts.
Whew, okay.
A lot of people are listening on Spotify, so
Interesting.
I do find that interesting as well, because like for me, I've been a Spotify power user. In fact, thanks to my Apple card, I realized that I have been double paying for Spotify for about 15 months now.
Oh, bummer.
But I have been a Spotify power user. I love the playlist creation. I love sharing playlists. My reggae playlist won best reggae playlist in Boulder, Colorado. I don't know how that happened, but hey, whatever.
Wait. Huh?
Yeah, my reggae playlist, unbeknownst to me, won best reggae playlist in Boulder, Colorado.
I didn't know there was a contest.
And me either.
How did you know it won?
Someone just told me that. They're like, hey, did you know Boulder, Colorado did their reggae festival on best playlist? And they mentioned, they're like, Paul Alexander, best reggae playlist. And I was like,
no way.
Really? So I guess I must have a fire reggae playlist.
That's pretty cool.
But anyway, let's get into what we're talking about today, which is working on your business and whatever music that you use to work on your business. For me, it's actually trance. I love trance music.
I do at times as well.
Helps me really focus deep. But let's get into today's question, which is brought to you by our Black Friday sale. This is something you won't want to miss. Where else can you get access to 32 classes that are in depth? Are you ready to transform yourself from not just a just a regular pilot, but someone who's constantly willing to learn, who's constantly bettering their skills. I promise you, there is always a way to improve yourself, because if you're like me, then you realize that, and you realize that it's not the destination that's the fun part. It's the pursuit that is always
it's the journey.
It's so much fun. And if you're like me and you want to learn, well, you're not going to want to miss this very, very short sale. It is happening on Friday, and it's also happening on Monday, but not in between. Yeah, I know. Weird, right? That being said, what are we offering? Almost half off of an annual membership. In addition, we are offering a discount for the fly-in. So if you haven't signed up for the fly-in yet, you're going to want to sign up for it. In addition, we are offering an in-person discount, so you can get an in-person discount for our mapping class, our flight mastery classes. And if you are like me and you love sunny weather, Rob, do you like sunny weather?
I particularly love it right now when it's cold and windy outside. Yes.
Could not agree more. Then you got to join me in San Diego, California. We're going to be doing flight mastery. We're going to be going over point cloud construction, editing, 3D textured mesh construction, polyline exportation. So much. If you heard my talk about ground control points the other day, this is the class where I spend about an hour going through that whole bit. So join us. Don't miss it. If you're on our email list, great news. You're going to get the invite to join us for the sale. If you're not on our email list, just go to thedroneu.com, scroll to the bottom of the page and say, join my newsletter. And just like that, you can subscribe to the newsletter. Yep. And you'll get access to the sale. We only run a sale once a year, right?
Very infrequently, yes. It's
yeah, I don't remember running a sale any other time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
so it's been a long time.
Definitely don't want to miss it. And if you're like me and you want to have fun while you're learning, then you're going to want to check it out. Just go to droneu.education.
That's right. You'll also be able to find information on that on our public Facebook page. So check it out.
Hello, this is Desi. Once again, I want to say thank you for everything you do, and I think you're fantastic. I'd like to get a few tips on how to stay on top of things. I find myself doing a lot of business from my phone and from my car because I do about an hour and a half commute. I used to have an office with a desk full of paperwork and the old-fashioned phone that plugs into the wall. Now I do phone calls, and I want to remember, how do I do follow-ups? How do I make a note to myself? Don't forget to call this person back. Any tips like that for how to stay on top of it so you don't lose track of some of the conversations that you've had? That would be great. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, Desi. It's always a pleasure to hear from you and your very cheerful voice. Seriously. I enjoy it. Makes me happy.
She actually had 3 questions back to back that we've kind of been breaking up into with other questions in between, because she asked a couple really good questions.
She did.
And I like how thought-provoking her questions are. I really do. So, it's one of those things that the perception that she puts off versus what's behind all that. She's very intelligent. It's extremely intelligent. And it's one of those things that, like, after a while, I've just noticed it. And I'm just like, I see you, Desi. And honestly, it's really cool.
I think she's also tenacious, right? Because she just continues like going at it, which is great.
How you know she will be successful. Yep. So, okay, I want to hear from you, Rob. Rob, you are the business master.
Oh, gosh.
Few people have even called you the business Buddha. I'm wondering.
No, they haven't. That's not true. It's the first time those words have ever been uttered.
Oh, that's true.
Whatever.
But a lot of people do look up to you, okay? You even have members in the community who call you and take up my time so that you'll mentor them, and you don't even charge them money.
Don't tell anybody that.
Well, just so you're wondering out there, no, you cannot get mentored by Rob for free. But very soon, hopefully our new level of membership will be coming out, and you get coached by Rob all day long.
Wow.
Anyway,
all day long.
But Rob
Careful what you wish for.
Rob will be sacrificing his time all day, every day for you. Just kidding. But she asked a question. She asked a very good question. And her question is, what are the best ways to essentially handle all the tasks? What are great ways to, handle, reminders and CRM, right? Mm-hmm. Client relationship management. And before you answer this question, because I really feel like this is right up your alley, I will just have to say one thing. And I think that depending on the type of personality that you have, the answer to this question is going to be different for you.
I agree.
Because I myself have been in a period of discovery as I've been trying to be a lot more productive myself. And I've gone from using, what is it called? That Google app. I even forgot the name of it. Google Keep.
I love Google Keep.
Google Keep to writing things down in my handy dandy book. And for me, writing things down in the book helps me remember what I'm working on. I can go back to other pages to see what I was working on. And for me, the book has really been a lot better than Google Keep. And I don't know why. I think it's a very old school way of doing things, but going to a private high school and private middle school where they were very technology agnostic. They wanted you to write everything down because they thought it was beneficial to your memory, which I think...
I agree.
I agree as well. So I will just say everyone is different and the way that you do things is different. Now, that being said, the biggest lesson that I have learned this year when it comes to productivity is that your health and the habits that you have regarding your health will have a direct impact on your ability to be productive. So if you've been following me on Instagram, I've been in this almost 2-week long now habit forming mission of doing exercise in the morning. And I don't mean intense exercise. I don't mean going to the gym exercise, although I did do that on Saturday. I mean just doing squats in the morning. I think you guys have heard me say this before, but thanks to Ilker, who I almost hit in the street yesterday.
He's still here?
Yeah. That's exactly why I just said that.
I thought they went to California.
I thought they went to California too, but literally as I was blasting down Juan de Beau, he was
and when he says blasting.
Anyway, so I saw him. And
I hope he's doing well.
I hope he is too.
He's a good guy.
He gave me some of the best life advice ever. He said, and by the way, I think that this should really only go for men. Before I say what I'm about to say, intermittent fasting has very negative effects for females. At least that's some of the science that I've been reading. So I'm not trying to be gender specific, but I think we all know that men and women have fundamental differences chemically. And from what I have learned, I don't think intermittent fasting is good for women. But let me explain what Ilker taught me. Ilker taught me that early morning exercise, when you're doing something like squats, which squats work out multiple muscle groups, your obliques, your stomach, your legs, the front of your legs, the back of your legs, your back. So it really is a multi muscle group exercise, right? And he said, if you do 80 squats every day before breakfast, he's like, I promise you, you will lose weight. And I did this before and I lost a lot of weight and I'm doing it again. I'm already 12 pounds down. And frankly, I'm really happy. Now, if you do 80 squats, let's say in the morning, and then you wait until noon or 1 to eat, you'll have astronomical weight loss over a period of time. And I always try to switch it up too, so my body doesn't figure out a schedule. My point in saying this, Rob, is that body weight exercises before breakfast, which typically take 10 to 15 minutes max, have been the one key fundamental huge impact on productivity, how I feel, my ability to get things done, and my overall demeanor. And I would just say, if you guys are out there and you're struggling, even if you're just slightly struggling or, you're drinking way too much coffee, start with some squats in the morning. It's going to be hard as you start, but I'm telling you, it is amazing to have a heart rate of 150 BPM in the morning. And then the rest of the day, you're burning calories because you worked out the most intense muscle groups in your whole body. So you're burning calories now all day long that you typically wouldn't be burning.
Sure.
And in addition, your mind is on fire. It's like instant wake up. Yeah. So it's better than coffee. It's better than every drug known to man. Like, just do your damn squats. You can do push-ups, that's fine, but you're not going to feel the same way.
Yeah.
So, because I've been trying that push-ups, pull-ups, squats, and squats, like after 80, I'm just like, ready. Like, I mean, I'm full Batman.
Yeah,
so.
and you'll get a nice burn doing 80 of those, and you can start to add weight and on and on and on. But I love it because I think that it all starts with taking care of ourselves, emotionally, physically, potentially spiritually, whatever your bent is as far as that's concerned.
I think they're all important. I don't think you can ignore one of those. But okay, I just said before you get started and then went on a tangent. So Rob,
well, this is episode 1056. So I think we're all pretty well accustomed to the way this goes.
So yeah, no, we are, but I want to hear from you. I mean, it comes to CRM, it comes to, remembering things, it comes to writing down stuff. Here's the thing for Desi, since she's in the car, I don't think writing things down is going to be very beneficial for her. She may have to get the Google Assistant or really go into Google Apps and do a lot of dictation, which I've found dictation inside of the Google Apps has gotten very good. Mm-hmm. And I transcribe a lot now. So that's something that may help you, Desi, as far as reminders, sales. What do you recommend, Rob? Because there's a lot of tools out there.
Well, I think that, with a question like this, number one, there are thousands of podcasts out there probably that talk about this kind of stuff, right? And why do you think that is? It's because it's so dang hard to figure out. I think it's been a struggle of mine for a long, long time. And you know who actually is really, really good at this is our partner, Tim. He's phenomenal just at this process and this system and sort of keeping his world clean, if you will. Some of that I think has to do with one's duties and the kinds of things that they do on a daily basis and the amount of minutia that comes into your space, so to speak. And my hunch with the way that Desi, because we know Desi and we've spent some time with Desi, the way that she operates, and I mean this in a positive sense, is she's busy and she's got a lot of things going on, probably a lot of things coming at her at various times throughout the day on a daily basis, right? Because she's staying busy, she's teaching, she's doing her business, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to take a little bit more work. I know for me, it's just been a big stinking struggle. So that being the case, what works for me? I'm not going to lie. So I was thinking about this and I was joking with myself and I was going to say, Desi, all you need to do is keep some stickies and then you just put them on your windshield. But I'm only kidding. You don't want to use stickies on your windshield. That's actually a system that still works for me. I'm not recommending it, but it still works for me. The point is you got to figure out what works for you. I think that if you're an Apple user, I think you're better off than if you're an Android user. As it relates to this question specifically for what you're talking about when you're in your car and so forth, do you know if she's an Apple user, an iOS user versus Android? I can't remember.
I want to say she is, but I don't remember.
Yeah. So one of the reasons for that is if I was an Apple user, which I'm talking about being one in 2020. Anyways, I mean, one of the things that you would do all the time is simply give yourself a voice message in your calendar. And I think that one thing that Google has done very, very well is their calendar system and the tasks and all of that. I mean, I'm oversimplifying, but I don't think we need to overcomplicate either. Use some of the basic tools that are available to you. And the key is consistently using them, right? So if I were you, and this is what I do, I simply put everything in my calendar. And some people would say, but I don't want to use my calendar as a task list. Fine, then don't. Then find something else to use as your task list. But for me, I like having it all consolidated and concentrated in one point. And there are different ways of delineating between a task versus an appointment, etc. They give you the tools and resources to do that. So for me, I like to keep it simple and put it all in one place. And that works for me. Now, if I'm going to be doing some lists, I'm going to use Google Keep, which Paul already mentioned, because I love that it's very basic. It doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. It just works. I don't need something like Evernote that's going to charge me and is overcomplicated, which I'm sure Evernote works for some of you out there. But I like the simplicity of Google Keep, and I can share things very, very easily with my wife, for example. We share things with each other on Google Keep, makes it very simple. Things like her Christmas list. I don't know how you all do that, probably similar to the way we would do that, and that is we kind of come up with our own list and then we just share it and say, hey, these are some of the cool things that we'd like, and we work that. So she shared her list with me, makes things very, very simple. We can bring our kids in. So I like that a lot. Now, one of the things that's super important is having the right perspective from the very beginning. So in our business class, we talk a little bit about getting things done, right? And I think this is a good thing for all of you to go back and spend some time learning. Getting things done, I'm blanking on who wrote the book, but it's a system. And I think the primary basis for the system is knowing what is a task versus what is a project. Because what we end up doing is we'll say, for example, we'll have a conversation and we'll say, we need to start marketing on Facebook in this way. And so we write that down as a task. Well, guess what? That is not a task. That is a project that is made up of a lot of tasks. And if you don't understand that and plan for that up front, it's only going to be frustrating because you're going to never check that off because you haven't actually identified all of the tasks, action items associated with actually accomplishing that goal or that project. So I would say check out Getting Things Done, and I think Tim might have some stuff in our business course on getting things done. If not, we need him to do a whole class on that because that's something that has withstood the test of time, is that concept of getting things done. And there's all sorts of ways that you can use that in sort of micro systems. Again, for me, it's overcomplicated, but for Tim, he's implemented a lot of that and it's really helped him stay organized, and he's very, very good at it. The other thing that comes to mind is time blocking. I will tell you that this is really, really challenging because life and business just continues to throw things at you on a daily basis, right? So we all are dealing with the tyranny of the urgent. And I think the majority of us are not very good at not letting that happen. So for example, Desi, if you were to take the 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock hour of your day and say, this is the time that I'm going to return phone calls, that's one little micro example of something that you can do. And you be disciplined and you make that happen. Or you say, I'm going to do research from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And I know as I'm saying this, a lot of you are saying, never going to happen. Things come up. What if a client calls? You know what? Let me put it to you this way. What if you were in an appointment with an important client from 4 to 5 and a client called? You're not going to answer because of that. I mean, you're going to give the attention that client that you're with deserves and not respond in some sort of fear-based response, right? Because you're worried that client that's calling you is upset, or who knows what you're worried about. So you're going to respond to it even though you're in the middle of something important. You're not going to do that if you're with a client that's important. So it's all about changing your mindset if you're going to time block and really think through and stick to the theory, the philosophy, the importance behind the time blocking that you came up with. One thing I would discourage you from doing with time blocking is time blocking your entire day. At least to start with time blocking 1 hour a day. See how that goes. And then maybe add half hour, maybe add an hour. Do it at different times during the day and really stick to that. Get disciplined in that before you add to it. And I think over time, you'll develop habits that are going to be very, very beneficial in terms of your productivity. But I'm going to circle all the way back, Desi, to simplicity using Siri, right? Because you can just tell Siri, add this to my calendar to call back at such and such time.
You can also do geofenced notifications.
So what does that look like?
So you can say, hey Siri, when I get by the office, remind me to get coffee. And literally, as you get within a mile of
awesome.
Apple's awesome. You should just switch now.
I want the 12. That's what I'm holding out for.
Yeah.
Maybe
anyway,
I should buy a 6 now.
Don't you think you should get started on something simple before going all the way to the top?
But it's the same aisle. Why? No, I don't. Even though
I just wanted to see how you'd respond
here, right?
to the open-ended question.
That's what I'm preaching here.
Yes, you are, right?
Okay, so explain. Okay. What would be simple in the context of me not waiting to get a 12? What does that look like in your mind?
I would not get an 8 or less. I would get a 10 or higher so that you understand how to work with the interface without having a button. because it was so funny. My dad yesterday, he was like, hey,
I don't have a button.
no, I understand. But if you go to an iPhone 8, you're going to have a button and you'll learn how to use that particular vehicle through the home button.
Gotcha.
So like, for example, with my phone, there is no home button. So it's all about swiping, you know? So you learn the gestures and movements. That's my point. Okay.
So you're saying don't get a phone with a button.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
But going into this, now I kind of lost my train of thought of why I interrupted you.
Well, we were talking about
reminders.
Siri, geofence reminding, yeah.
So you can set up Siri to say like, you know, hey, by the way, if you have a new watch, all you have to do is, you know, I'm going to try to do this hopefully this works. I'm going to try to do this right now. But all you need to do is flick your wrist and start talking and she'll do it. So, hey Siri, remind me exactly to get a coffee by the time I end up home.
Here's your reminder.
Done.
Wait, she said, here's your reminder. Was that right then she's reminding you, or she's just saying...
she set up the reminder because my home is programmed into my phone. So as I get within a mile of the home, the reminder will pop up.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
I mean, we live in a world of technology. Don't be afraid to like utilize your assistant. Sometimes Siri annoys the crap out of me though, just saying. And for me, I agree with you though. Machine. I agree with you. My calendar is everything. And, you know, you talked about time blocking, and I will just say I cannot time block more than a third of my day. Otherwise, I get frustrated.
Absolutely. And so I think that is probably going to be 90+% of the population that tries to time block. The likelihood is if you try, because I speak from experience and I know other people that have done the same. If you try to get real fancy, and I've used like all colored Excel spreadsheets years ago, and I'm going to do this time of day, and that's green, and then this is red, and then the whole day is time blocked, and then, yeah, right. And so then that blows up at about 8:17 in the morning, right? And then the rest of the time block, you're just discouraged, and then you kind of feel guilty about it because you're not sticking to your time block. And man, there's just a lot. This is a really challenging question, Desi. And again, it depends on who you are as a person. But one thing that if I were to summarize everything, it would be to keep it as simple as possible. And again, for me, that is to use my Google Calendar for just about everything, and then even connecting Google Keep and using Hangouts even. So think about it that way. If you can sort of put everything, now there's people that are going to say, God, I don't want Google to have that much control over my life. I get that too. We all have our things, right, that bother us or that we worry about. So if you're worried about that, well, then figure something else out. But you can schedule calls in Google, and then you just go into Google and you use Hangouts to do the call. I mean, there's so many ways that you can streamline things. That's just one option. But the point is to keep it simple, to find as few mechanisms or tools as possible. There's another system that we use. It's called Teamwork. It works really well for our team. We communicate through that, and that works great for our team. So having systems that you utilize, that you have taken the time to implement, cast the vision of why it's going to work, because I know that it's been really tough for Paul to adopt the Teamwork because the teamwork, that's funny, to adopt. I'm saying that like the Drone U, like PJK says to us about Drone U. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble now because I think I just don't want to overcomplicate it. And so I hope that helps. Like I said, I actually still use stickies, but what I'll do is I'll use a sticky, and I've minimized that. I've learned over time that I can't let that grow into a sticky farm. I can have a little sticky garden, right there on my desk for things that I'm going to need to get to by the end of the day. And then if I don't, I'll put that into my calendar to do the next day. So find a system that works for you, commit to it, and go for it. And hopefully that's been somewhat helpful, Desi, because with as much information as is thrown at us nowadays on a daily basis, that's part of the thing too, is like eliminate things that are coming into your life on a daily basis that you don't need to have come into your life on a daily basis. That's something I continue to learn the hard way.
Yeah. I will say a couple technical options for you that may help. I don't know if you're a GSuite user, but if you're like me and you're a GSuite user, there are a lot of applications that work together with GSuite to make things a lot easier. If you're not a GSuite user, Desi, I would really recommend.
And it's super cheap, like for one email.
Yeah, it is. I created a family unit on my own domain because it's just so stupid easy. So anyway, long story short, use GSuite. You can literally run your entire company from GSuite and from your phone. But there are also a lot of applications that work in combination with the GSuite API. So they really simplify pushing data from one source to another and working together with your other applications. So for example, when I had my old company, I used this app Untitled, which is great for CRM. So if you're trying to remember when to call people for sales and whatnot, and you don't want to put it in your calendar, Untitled does do a good job. Although if you want certain functionality, it is $29 a month. And as someone who's going to be focusing a lot on not spending money, I would say that that's not for me anymore. I want to find a free version. In addition, part of me, because of all the issues with data compliance and data right now, it has me thinking more and more of just creating Google Forms for myself and creating shortcuts for them, because they autonomously feed Google Sheets, and then I can set up those Google Sheets and get reports out of them. So for example, let's say that she has a new client or let's just say she has an existing client who wants a certain job. She can have a form that she can create an app. So just like I have the Drone U right there, and it just goes right to Drone U. You can create an app on your phone and it'll go right to that Google form, and you can say new client, name, number, boom, done. And literally when you fill out that Google form and click send, it now auto-fills the Google Sheet. And then you can tell the Google Sheet to do autonomous actions yourself. It's actually a really cool feature. So you could, go into the Google Sheet every week and say, okay, who did I forget to follow up with? Who, what did I do? What didn't I do?
Time blocking.
Yes. And I will say that GSuite is, our whole new instructor system literally runs off GSuite, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's pretty amazing, the tools that Google has come up with for all of us. Or is it Alphabet?
Either way, what I like is the security as well. So that being said, what's one thing that you can work on your business? Well, can you imagine what it would be like if someone were to hack your business and send all of your most trusted clients emails that would ruin your credibility, authority, and reputation? Well, take it from us. You don't want that. So what I would do is the one thing that everyone who's listening to the show should do right now is start two-factor authentication. That way, whenever you log into anything that's two-factor, that way, if you get port locked or if you get doxxed or some negative hacking, you have a way to really eliminate other problems that could stem from that. So that is one thing. Also, if you're not a GSuite user and you're wondering how to streamline your business, I'm just going to say, and Vic, this is for you, learn to become a GSuite user. It is just, even my dad, just the other day, I was having a conversation with him, and I was trying to Skype him so I could record a call. And I was like, okay, go on your phone, swipe here, do this, do that, do that. And he was just like, it amazes me how much you know about how to operate your phone. And I responded with, well, hold on a minute. If you can run your entire business off of your phone, is your phone a toy or is it a tool? Is it something that you should know intimately well, the systems they're in, and how to work it, how to fix it, how to work within it? And he was just like, yes, but I'm too old to learn that crap. and on that, that's going to do it for us today, as we've taken a long time to answer this question. Any final thoughts, Rob?
You're never too old to learn that crap.
Pound it. Agreed. On that bombshell, that's going to do it for us today. My name is Paul.
My name is Rob.
This is Ask Drone U.